Prologue, the weight of salt and shadows. The port of Metropolis X had become a graveyard of ambition. Thomas stood on the deck of the Iron Tide, his scarred hands gripping the rail as he stared at the horizon where Nacal's silhouette still lingered, a jagged shadow beneath the waves. The Black Pearl was gone, but its curse clung to the docks like barnacles. Asmer's laughter echoed in taverns, where merchants now traded cursed relics for whispers of power. Thomas's crew eyed him with doubt, their loyalty eroded by fear. The sea had forgiven nothing. Chapter 1, The Compass of Drowned Souls. Asmer's new gamble. Asmer cornered Thomas in a salt-crusted alley, offering a brass compass that hummed with drowned voices. "It points to what the sea stole," the demon crooned. "A fleet of ghost ships, their holds bursting with gold, and answers." Thomas's resolve wavered. The compass's needle spun toward the Abyssal trench, a graveyard where Nacal's kin slept. The first voyage. Thomas rallied his dwindling fleet, but as they sailed, the compass bled black ink into the sea. Crewmen vanished, dragged under by skeletal hands. By dawn, only the Iron Tide remained. Symbolism: the compass represents greed's cyclical trap, the sea punishes those who dig too deep. Chapter 2, Mutiny of the Deep. Rennick's defiance. First Mate Rennick, his eyes now milky from touching the compass, rallied mutineers. "You're cursed, king," he spat. "We'll trade you to Nautical for safe passage." Thomas fought them off, but not before Rennick tossed the compass into the sea, a sacrifice to the depths. Nacal's whisper. That night, Nacal's voice boomed in Thomas's dreams, "You owe me a kingdom. I'll take yours." Waves began eroding the port's foundations, saltwater seeping into cellars and souls. Image prompt: Thomas standing alone on the Iron Tide's deck, surrounded by mutineers with barnacle-covered weapons, as Nacal's shadow rises beneath the ship. Chapter 3, Opiat's Return, the Broker of Lies. The Ghost Ship. Opiat returned on a vessel made of whalebone and rust, his throat scar glowing like a brand. "You look like hell," he smirked, tossing Thomas a crate of sapphire powder, explosive stolen from Kaledraven's armory. "Burn Nacal's spawn. Or drown. Your choice." The Unholy Alliance. Thomas reluctantly partnered with Opiat to mine the trench. But Opiat's true goal surfaced: he sought Nacal's crown, a relic said to control Leviathans. "Power's a game," Opiat said. "And I cheat." Conflict, trust versus betrayal, as Opiat's ambition mirrors Thomas's past. Chapter 4, The Leviathan's Maw. Descent into the trench. Thomas and Opiat dove in a reinforced diving bell, the compass guiding them to Nacal's throne, a cavern lined with the skulls of drowned kings. There, the crown pulsed with bioluminescent rot. Nacal's wrath. Nacal ambushed them, his form colossal, eel-like tail crushing the bell. Opiat seized the crown, but its power mutated him, scales erupting from his skin, voice gurgling. "I am king," he rasped before fleeing into the dark. Climax: Thomas barely escaped, the trench collapsing as Nacal's roar shook the ocean. Chapter 5, The Port's Last Breath. Retribution. Nacal's horde besieged Metropolis X, wave-swallowed ships, and amphibious horrors scaled the docks. Thomas detonated the sapphire powder, igniting the harbor in a blaze that turned the sea to steam. Nacal retreated, but not before his tendrils dragged half the port into the depths. A hollow victory. Thomas stood amid the ruins, Opiat's mutated scales clutched in his fist. Asmer materialized, offering a new artifact, a conch that promised to silence the sea. Thomas hesitated, then crushed it underfoot. No more deals. Foreshadowing: Opiat's mutated shadow appears in the waves, wearing Nacal's crown. Chapter 6, The Ghost Fleet's Bargain. The Vanished Armada. Thomas tracked the ghost fleet to the Shattered Isles, where shipwrecks loomed like skeletal giants. Aboard the flagship Drowned Oath, he found the crew, corpses preserved by brine, their eyes glowing with Asmer's cursed fire. Their captain, a wraith named Vera, offered a pact: destroy Opiat, and we'll drown Nacal's horde. Refuse, and your port becomes our next feast. The price of shadows. To seal the deal, Thomas surrendered his cutlass, its blade forged from Nacal's barnacle armor. Vera laughed, her voice echoing through the fog. A king's weapon for a king's war. Chapter 7, The Alchemist's Fire. Evangeline's Intervention. Evangeline arrived in Metropolis X, her veins flickering with Etherion's dying flame. She bargained with Thomas, "I'll burn Opiat's crown to ash. In return, you help me kill Asmer." Together, they brewed a volatile elixir from shadow fire and phoenix embers, a weapon that could scorch the sea itself. Mathio's warning. Mathio, scarred by shadow fire, intercepted them. "This fire consumes everything. Even you." But Thomas, desperate, ignited the elixir in the port's forge. The explosion blinded half his crew, and awakened something in the deep. Chapter 8, Leviathans Rise. Opiat's Dominion. Opiat emerged from the trench, now a colossal Leviathan with Nacal's crown fused to his skull. His roar summoned tidal waves that swallowed entire ships. Thomas's ghost fleet clashed with Opiat's horde, their cannons firing alchemical fire into the abyss. Nacal's redemption. In the chaos, Nacal himself surfaced, weakened but defiant. "The crown is mine." He tore it from Opiat's head, triggering a cataclysm. The sea split, revealing a portal to the void, Asmer's true goal. Chapter 9, The Void's Maw. Asmer's Endgame. Asmer descended, his form bloated with stolen power. "The void hungers for your world," he taunted, hurling Thomas into the portal. Inside, Thomas saw the truth: the Black Pearl was a seed of the void, planted to corrupt the sea. Evangeline's Sacrifice. Evangeline plunged into the portal, her phoenix flame clashing with Asmer's shadows. The void recoiled, sealing shut, but not before consuming her. Mathio dragged Thomas back, muttering, "Heroes die. Legends burn." Chapter 10, The Port King's Legacy. The Final Tide. Thomas faced Opiat, now mortal and broken. "You wanted a kingdom," Thomas growled. "Here's your crown." He impaled Opiat with the Ghost Fleet's cursed cutlass, their blood staining the docks. Nacal, crownless, sank into the depths, his final whisper, "The sea remembers." Rebirth. Thomas rebuilt the port, outlawing Asmer's relics. The Ghost Fleet vanished, but sailors swore they saw Vera's ship on the horizon, hunting void spawn. Epilogue, The Unbroken Cycle. A New Dawn. Metropolis X thrived, its docks bustling with trade and secrets. In a tavern, a bard sang of Thomas's victory, while a shadowy figure, Mathio, bartered with a sailor holding a vial of alchemical fire. Asmer's Echo. Beneath the waves, Opiat's corpse stirred, his eyes glowing with void-black fire. On the wind, Evangeline's voice whispered, "The flame lives." Connections. Mathio's shadow fire scars hint at his role in Inferno. Evangeline's death mirrors Elier's sacrifice, foreshadowing her return. Asmer's lingering influence ties to Nyx's schemes and history of Dark Age 2, Inferno. Quote, "Kings drown. Ports fall. But the tide? The tide always comes back." Thomas, carving the words into the hull of the Iron Tide. Chapter 11, The Frozen Oath. The Warlord of Frostspire. Thomas sailed to the frozen wastes, seeking Bjorn Ironside, a former ally turned icebound warlord. Bjorn's fortress, carved into a glacier, housed a fleet trapped in ice. "You abandoned us after the Black Pearl," Bjorn growled. To earn his aid, Thomas endured a trial, retrieving a frost whisper crystal from a crevasse haunted by spectral walruses. Success thawed Bjorn's rage. "For the man you were," Bjorn said, gifting him a ship with a hull of unmelting ice. Chapter 12, The Sands of Broken Promises. Syrah's Bargain. In the desert kingdom of Zara, Queen Syrah, a former lover, ruled a city plagued by drought. She demanded Thomas retrieve a stolen Stormheart gem from bandits. The heist revealed the thief was her brother, desperate to save the realm. Thomas let him live, earning Syrah's wrath, until Mathio arrived, using shadow fire to summon rain. Syrah gifted a battalion of Sandmage assassins. Debts paid, she said coldly. Chapter 13, The Pirate Queen's Price. Lyra's Gauntlet. At the Isles of Myr, Pirate Queen Lyra, once Thomas's first mate, challenged him to a duel of echoes, combat aboard ships rigged with explosives. Winning meant inheriting her fleet, losing meant death. Thomas won by sabotaging his own mast, impressing Lyra with his cunning. She joined him, whispering, "You've still got salt in your veins." Chapter 14, The Council of Shadows. Betrayal in the ranks. Allies gathered at Metropolis X, Bjorn's ice fleet, Cirrus sand mages, Lyra's pirates. But Asmr corrupted Bjorn's lieutenant, who unleashed a frost serpent on the port. Thomas sacrificed the ice ship to kill the beast, its death cry cracking the harbor. Bjorn executed the traitor, snarling, "The North remembers loyalty." Chapter 15, The Void's Last Breath. Final Alliance. Asmr manifested through Opiat's corpse, commanding void-spawned Leviathans. United fleets clashed in a storm of alchemical fire and ice. Evangeline reappeared, reborn from phoenix ash, and incinerated Asmr's physical form. Nautical, sensing the void's threat, rose one last time, dragging Asmr's essence into the abyss. Thomas's cutlass shattered in the strike, severing Opiat's cursed bond. Epilogue of Epilu, Tides of Eternity. Rebirth and Legacy. Metropolis X became a beacon of unity, its docks rebuilt with Zeron silk, Marin explosives, and Frostspire ice forges. Thomas declined kingship, sailing instead to map uncharted waters. The Unbroken Circle. Matteo took Evangeline's phoenix flame, vowing to guard against Shadowfire's return. Lyra and Cirra formed a trade pact, their rivalry softened by mutual respect. Bjorn returned north, carving Thomas's name into the glacier as a warning to future warlords. Asmr's Whisper. In a tavern, a drunkard found Asmr's conch, now a harmless trinket, until moonlight revealed a tentacled shadow within. Evangeline's Promise. She appeared in Thomas's cabin, her hair streaked with void black. The flame and the darkness survive. We're not done, King. Final line. Thomas adjusted his compass, now pointing upward, and sailed into a maelstrom, grinning. Let the tide decide. Quote. Ships sink. Kingdoms crumble. But a crew? A crew is forever. Lyra's toast at the Alliance's victory feast,